It's like every man that is going before a trial, a man or woman, you need to get some fair hearing. It's natural, no matter your station in life. Because at this point, you're at the trial period, right? Like you're going for an election. So ordinarily, people have to give a fair hearing. But they need to give a fair hearing based on what? Based on some of the things you've done before, because then some of your experience will count. You see, the position of a vice president is no mean position. The position of president is no mean position. That's why when you are going for it, you have to be vetted. Your school class, so called tech.
Yes.
We call him tech. Now me a president on land economy student. We need by a small margin. we converting. It wasn't easy. And you see, you go to vetting because you are coming for a position that people probably revere and respect.
Yeah.
And they ask you all sort of questions. How are you going to do this? Because I tell them in old school, beside me say, how am I going to raise money to settle the debt that my predecessors left? I gave reasons, I gave how I did it, and I did it. And I went for one term. I left even a surplus, right? Because then people would ask you how your experiences matter. So it's very important. I think the only slight difference between this vice president has been very, very active, unlike the former vice presidents we've had that were either sidelined or rendered ineffective. This Dr. Bawumia has had the blessings of Nanado. Even though I know some of the decisions they disregard him anyway, I know that for a fact. I mean, I don't begin to name some of the big ticket things that happened that I saw at first hand that they just completely disregarded him. That one I'm aware. Two, I can tell you any day, but I don't think that's the conversation you want to have today. But the point I'm making is, the reason why I'm saying this, he is a bit different, that he had room to do so much that he wanted to do. He drove the detailization agenda. He was speaking. But beyond that, Bawumia was also sold as an economic whiskey. We can't go, there's no way we can dance around that.
Yes.
And indeed, he made certain very interesting comments. Some of his lectures were awe-inspiring, and we all listened to it. But the president himself has been on record saying, thanks to Dr. Bawumia, that's a Nepano, yeah, Bibi, that's a Mutomon. One district this, one district. One of the things I have against some of the, maybe the issue about Bawumia is that maybe he didn't have the room to be a bit bolder enough, right? To say, Jack. Well, I hear also of this cabinet disagreements here. And these are not matters you can come and discuss, but I know things happen. Maybe, yes. So the answer I'm giving you directly is that I think it's a 50-50 situation. Because in this case, Dr. Bawumia is slightly ahead of almost all the other vice presidents we've had, at least in this republic. Not even John had this much presence. You recall, he had these issues with music, what you do, and the rest. They still continue. I just laugh. And I know they had all their battles, which has continued up to today. But I think Bawumia had a greater chance, also because of his dexterity. Let's not lose sight of the fact that Bawumia was an excellent pair of hands and head. Why? Because of the election petition, the things he said, the things he did, and the comments he makes about the economy tells us that this is somebody who is definitely competent. The question, though, is how did we end up where we are today? The debt exchange.
Yeah.
I've not heard Dr. Bawumia speak once about the debt exchange, and I'm worried because I'm asking myself, why has he not said anything about the debt exchange? I'm saying that I never heard him all through the debt exchange challenges. I know he made comments at Flax, committee, and this IMF thing. I know a lot. I hear a lot, by the way, and I know certain things were said and done. But you see, the public is where he showed his mettle. That's where we know him to be. So exchanges were going. At least there was just one that I heard him say, the exchange rate is coming down and all of that. But that's after months of all of us going through it. You know, sometimes people just want to hear you say, okay, we know things are all bad, but we want to side with you, especially because of the profile you built for yourself in the public. So I don't think it is fully agreeable to the extent to say that he wouldn't have to answer some of that. Otherwise, what would be the point of his presidency? He needs to answer those questions tomorrow. and I suspect that he's probably well prepared to do so. So it's a chicken and egg situation. There's no way you can avoid it, by the way. You see.